Nvidia wants to bring its Asia headquarters to Taiwan. They have picked a place and the progress has stalled. We'll talk about that today. So Nvidia started looking for its Asia HQ, also known as Nvidia Constellation, about a year ago. And they have decided on Beitou Shiling Technology Park. It's a very favorable location. It has direct access to Taipei Metro Station, access to power grid infrastructure, and close to downtown Taipei. Within the technology park, there are plots T17 and T18. Those are the plots that Nvidia selected. However, the rights to those lands were acquired by Shin Kong Life Insurance. So usually this contract should be resolved between Shin Kong Life Insurance and Nvidia so they can transfer the rights to Nvidia directly. But it's not that simple. Look, Shin Kong Life Insurance only acquired the surface rights, but the land is still owned by the city. The surface rights only grants Shin Kong Life to build and lease out for 50 years. The catch of the contract is if you want to transfer the rights eventually, you need to build before you can transfer the rights. And this rule is implemented for a good reason because the government doesn't want companies or any specific groups to just own the piece of land and then do nothing with it and then flip the land for profit. Because it benefits no one if the land is just idle sitting there, and it's bad for the economy as well. But now this rule with good intention now has become a roadblock for Nvidia Constellation to land. Because Nvidia doesn't want to use someone else's facility, they want to design and build its own facility. And just a little bit more on plots T17 and T18. The zoning was originally designed for high-tech companies since it is in the middle of a technology park. But back in 2021, for some reason, no one wants to bid for this land, so the government has to loosen the restriction and allow other companies to come and bid for the land. And that's how they ended up in the hands of an insurance group. And since insurance companies in Taiwan love to sit on land and do nothing, even though they are really not supposed to do it in this special district, that's exactly what they did for 3 years. And the grass on that land has never been greener. And here comes Jensen, the CEO of Nvidia, who earlier this year picked out those plots of land for Nvidia's Asia HQ. He signed the MOU with Shin Kong Life Insurance there. The deadline to transfer the rights of the land is September 30th from whoever, from either the city or Shin Kong Life itself. But here comes the problem that I mentioned earlier. The city says you cannot transfer the rights because you haven't built anything on it, and that's not what the contract says. It basically made it impossible for Shin Kong Life to transfer the rights to Nvidia without breaking the contract with the city, because it's basically impossible to build within a few months for a whole entire establishment. So that's why we're here talking about it way after September 30th. So of course, the mayor can amend the contract, but unfortunately, under the current political climate where the current administration is going after the previous mayor of Taipei, it makes the current mayor of Taipei, it hinders his ability to basically go ahead and approve the transfer, because later on, the administration is basically waiting for him to do something illegal and then send him to jail after he leaves office.
Who's going to jail?
The mayor of Taipei, because he will be breaking the contract, essentially overriding the rule that states the lessee, Shin Kong, has to build something before they can transfer the rights of the land.
But it was my boy Jensen who bought the rights.
No, he hasn't actually. He signed a MOU with Shin Kong to acquire the rights before September 30th because there are all these restrictions.
But my boy Jensen though.
Yeah, that's why he thinks too, that there wouldn't be any issue, but here we are. So basically, the current mayor doesn't want to go to jail, but the direct transfer of rights is the fastest, the cleanest, and the most commercially logical method. Another way, obviously, is for Shin Kong to finish developing and then transfer the rights to Nvidia, but Nvidia doesn't want someone else's sloppy seconds. And that leaves a third option. So Shin Kong can break its contract with the city, and then the city can go ahead and lease the land to Nvidia.
So they can get the hot girl.
Yes. And both the city and Shin Kong Life Insurance like that idea. However, Shin Kong wants to get the bag, so Shin Kong initially uses 4 billion New Taiwan dollars to acquire the rights to the land, and now they're asking for 14 billion New Taiwan dollars for its potential of profits, because they're claiming that for the next 50 years, which is the duration of the contract, their potential profit is 10 billion New Taiwan dollars. So they basically want to be compensated for that. But the city is only willing to refund the down payment, and obviously you can imagine Shin Kong does not like that. So there is another way. Nvidia can just go somewhere else, find another location, and the city suggested plot T12, and the central government actually comes out and suggested other cities such as Tainan and Kaohsiung, but Nvidia doesn't like those alternatives.
Nvidia, picky bitch.
No, so we'll go over why Nvidia doesn't like those options. But before that, of course, there are benefits to that. Like it will make Shin Kong kind of lower its asking price, because now Nvidia would have other options, right? But the thing is, that strategy would only work if Nvidia is open to going to other locations. But they're not, because they're not just there. They don't want to just put their headquarters, somewhere cheap. They're looking for an ideal strategic location to attract talent and streamline and unify the local semiconductor supply chain. That means Nvidia will be sending a lot of high-level executives and engineers to visit and potentially move to Taipei. And sometimes that means families as well, right? So Nvidia needs an environment that is both welcoming and convenient for its American employees.
Why are you catering to Americans?
Well, global employees. But majority of Nvidia's high-level execs and engineers are American as of right now. So we're in Taiwan better than Taipei to provide that amenities, right? Taipei is a city with high-end hotels, high-end apartments, with decent healthcare.
High-end shopping.
High-end shopping, exactly. And they also have American and European schools for the American families or the global families. And of course, we can't forget the decent nightlife.
Party time.
Yes, party time. So Nvidia could honestly abandon Taiwan and then just go to Japan, Korea. India really wants them.
There's no clubs in India.
I'm sure there are clubs in India. But of course, Jensen Huang is Taiwanese American, and he would like to contribute to his home country. Oh, and one more thing. You see that road between T17 and T18? Nvidia also wants to eliminate that road and combine the plots of land. And to that, Taipei City also rejected it, because the city mayor also think that he could be prosecuted later on because it would be beneficial for Nvidia and it violates the zoning laws. Honestly, I'm not sure why Jensen didn't know about all these bullshit when he first picked the land, right?
How do you know he didn't know?
Maybe that's why he set up this deadline, to have them figure out, to have them sort out the issues,
Maybe he knows, but he knows my boy Jensen.
Actually, maybe he knows because he is good friends with Taipei mayor. So that's why he's like, okay, you go and figure it out, and then I will bring the money.
All this is speculation, by the way.
All this is speculation, exactly. To sum it all up, Nvidia wants to BYOB, Shin Kong wants to get rich, and city mayor doesn't want to go to jail. That's how we got here.
And we want to party.
And we're going to party. So just like that, the deal to land the biggest, baddest AI giant is now in limbo. And I blame the government for basically handcuffing the mayor from making the deal happen. Sounds like Taiwan needs Trump, who would simply make the deal happen, even though it breaks the law. And this deal is critical for Taiwan's future. If Nvidia Constellation successfully land in Taipei, it means the transformation from a manufacturing hub to a global AI strategic center. And with TSMC, it would be the ultimate silicon shield for Taiwan. Not to mention the domino effect on the economy. Now let's talk about why the central government doesn't want to help the city to land the deal. It's simple. The central government and the city belong to two different parties. Imagine the president is Trump and the city mayor is a blue city. Do you see Trump helping any of the blue cities out? So really, what the mayor needs, in addition to an amendment of the regulations or the contract, is a guarantee from the central government that in the future they won't be pursuing him for breaking the law or for corruption. So basically what he needs is a guarantee of non-prosecution in the future. Since landing Nvidia in Taipei is a political achievement of the decade or even more, the president does not want to help the mayor's party. It sure sounds very familiar here in the States. According to a former lawmaker, legislator in Taiwan, this dilemma can only be solved by the central government providing a guarantee or the central government brokering the deal themselves, basically also shouldering the responsibility. All I can say is Taiwan's government is very disappointing. If this deal falls through, considering Nvidia's size and AI dominance, how can Taiwan attract other companies to come and invest in Taiwan? Nvidia is literally the most valuable company in the world. I would like to bring up an example. We all shit on China for being communist. Look at what Elon said about Tesla's Shanghai Gigafactory. It's the fastest built building he's ever seen. His factory in Shanghai went from ground to up and running in a matter of 10 months. Look at what communists did to your Tesla stock. Just go check your account. Word on the street is that only Jensen wants to bring the headquarters to Taipei. Nobody else on the Nvidia board likes the idea. And we are now in the middle of October towards the end. Jensen hasn't mentioned anything about canceling. On October 1st, he could have just said peace to Taiwan. Come on, what does a man gotta do to come home? Seriously. I hope the president of Taiwan actually do something. Ultimately, he's the one who's holding the key right now to guarantee not only Taiwan's relevance, but its safety in the future. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you in the next one.